One day, a young boy stood in the middle of a bustling village square, his eyes filled with determination. "One day I will be a gladiator," he declared boldly, his small fists clenched with resolve. The other boys, taller and stronger, burst into laughter at his words. "You? A gladiator?" one jeered. "You're barely strong enough to carry a sword, let alone fight with one." Another boy smirked. "You wouldn't last a moment in the arena." The boy lowered his gaze, but held on to his dream tightly. He would prove them wrong. He had to. One afternoon, after another day of mockery, the boy sat alone behind the village stables, tears rolling down his cheeks. He didn't notice the figure approaching until a deep, steady voice startled him. "Tears bring dust storms, young gladiator." The boy looked up to see a towering man with a powerful build, his skin marked with the scars of battle. It was Maximus, the legendary champion who had once ruled the Colosseum. His presence alone commanded respect. "Why do you cry?" Maximus asked, kneeling beside him. The boy wiped his eyes and spoke from his heart. "Everyone laughs at me. They say I'm too small, too weak, but I want to be a gladiator more than anything." Maximus studied the boy for a long moment before a small smile tugged at his lips. "A champion isn't measured by his size, but by the fire in his heart." From that day forward, the boy became Maximus's apprentice. His training was grueling, far beyond what any boy his age should endure. Each morning, he awoke before the sun, running miles through the village and lifting stones until his arms trembled. He learned the art of swordplay, the precision of footwork, and the discipline of patience. He was bruised, battered, and exhausted, but never did he think of giving up. The laughter of his tormentors still echoed in his mind, but it only fueled his determination. Years passed. The boy was no longer a boy, but a man. His muscles were lean and strong, his reflexes sharper than a blade. Maximus had forged him into a warrior. The day finally came, when he stepped into the grand Colosseum, no longer a scrawny child, but a gladiator with purpose. The sun blazed overhead, casting a golden glow over the arena filled with thousands of roaring spectators. He stood at the center, his heart pounding like a war drum. Across from him were warriors twice his size, men who had fought and won countless battles. The crowd fell silent as the fight began. The battle was brutal. Every movement was a dance of survival, dodging, striking, parrying. His opponents underestimated him at first, but he was too fast, too precise. The underdog was matching them, blow for blow. Then came the final moment. With a swift, powerful strike, he downed his last opponent. The mighty giant collapsed to the ground, dust rising in a golden haze. A hush fell over the Colosseum. Then, as if breaking through the silence like a storm, the crowd erupted in cheers. "Kai! Kai! Kai!" They chanted his name. The boy who had been ridiculed was now the champion. But among the cheering crowd, he saw familiar faces, his childhood bullies. Their eyes widened in disbelief as they looked at him. "He's still that dwarf kid. Any time now," one muttered, as if expecting Kai to be crushed under the weight of his victory. Kai turned toward them, his gaze steady. He was no longer the frail child they once mocked. He was Kai, the great gladiator. The bullies lowered their heads. "Please forgive us," one stammered. "We never meant it. Please, don't hurt us." Kai stared at them for a moment before he spoke, his voice calm but resolute. "Though you never believed in me, I believed in myself." And with that he turned away, stepping forward into the future he had fought for, one where he was no longer defined by the doubts of others but by the fire within him.